Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop, and if you're new here, I'm Logan, and in today's video I'm going to be answering all of you guys' questions about the race engine I'm building and all of the stuff relating to it. Now the first question is, what is the reason for the build? Now the really short answer is, I want to go fast. Now, the really long answer is I'm a Kiwi from a motorcycling family. My parents race motorcycles and have always been around motorcycles their whole lives. And my favorite movie growing up was Burt Munro, and I still get emotional watching it. My mum had this picture of two Britons doing a wheel stand at her work, and every day after school, waiting for my ride home, I would sit there looking at this poster and I'd be like, that's going to be me one day. Building the bike, but also riding the bike. Now the reason I became a YouTuber was pretty much I had a fight with my boss. I got home and said, fuck this, I want to be a motorcycle mechanic anymore. And I started a YouTube channel with some of my skills and, doing DIY videos and stuff. And I had already started this project in the background. I eventually had the idea, why don't I make a video out of this project and see how it does? And so yeah, like 35 videos later, here we are. The second question is, what class is this engine for? Now, I race in a small capacity road racing class in New Zealand called Buckets. And the whole ethos behind this class is it's sort of the Kiwi ingenuity can-do class where there is a very broad range of what you're allowed to do as far as engine. If you want to build it yourself from scratch, you are allowed to. And there are several other people who have built all sorts of weird and wonderful engines that, I don't have time to go into now, but like a parallel twin 100cc two-stroke or 150cc V-twin four-stroke. Most engines are sort of 150cc four-stroke because they're easy and reliable. And so you are allowed to turbo and boost them as well, but they have to be a smaller capacity. So I think it's 100cc four-stroke you can have a turbo on, or a 50cc two-stroke you can have a turbo on. But don't really want to do that. I'm sure there's some other dude on the internet doing a turbo 50cc two-stroke, so I don't want to copy him. Someone wanted to know what sort of fuel we run in this class, and we are limited to pump gas, so it's either 98 octane or 100 octane avgas. Prohibited fuels are methanol and nitromethane. So the third question is, what specs am I building it to? Is it a known plan or just looks sendy? So I have put a lot of research into different engines and stuff that are pretty much all race engines that I'm taking my inspiration from. Whether that be naturally aspirated V10 era Formula 1 cars. There's a really good article on F1 Technical where a guy pretty much cuts up the cylinder head, which I know sounds like sacrilege. And it is an amazing article if you want to see all of the stuff that makes a V10 cylinder head able to make, 900 horsepower at 19,000 RPM. Now, also, there's a lot more other engines I've taken inspiration from, like I have a cylinder head here off a Moto3 Honda, which as you can see, my coolant jacket layout on my cylinder head is very similar. So there's probably at least 12 different engines, including the Briton, that I've taken inspiration from. Now, as far as the plan, this is the engine part. I also have to build most of the chassis and like all the bodywork and stuff. I'm probably going to build all of that from scratch as well. And so the main ethos I'm trying to go with is I'm going to get as much horsepower of this as I can. I want to make the engine and the chassis as light as I can, and also want to make it quite aerodynamic and like quite stable. So there are the three sort of things that I want to work. It has to be lightweight, high horsepower, aerodynamic. Now the frame, someone asked what frame is this going into. I'm planning currently on building my own trellis frame, and I've got a few cool ideas to make that a little bit different. So looking forward to that part of the build, but I'm still working on this at the moment. Now the fourth question is all about the engine, so I'm going to break that down into several different parts. So the first one is, what horsepower goal am I aiming for? So I'm aiming for 30 horsepower at the wheel, which is a pretty steep target for a 154 stroke that is naturally aspirated, but I think it's achievable, so we'll just crack on with it and see if we can get there. My RPM target is, I think I'll be revving this to around 15,000 RPM. I think that is doable. The piston speed shouldn't be too high, and I'm using R6 valve train parts, which should be able to handle 15,000. Now cam specs, I'm using a similar cam spec to a GYTR R6 cam, just slightly different. Compression ratio as a starting point, I'm going to start with 13:1 as sort of a safe-ish starting point, and I'll increase it from there to maybe 14:1, maybe 15:1, I'm not sure, but I want to start at the end where it's less likely to blow up and gradually move towards blow up. Someone asked, am I putting boost in it? Not in this configuration. If I built a 100cc version of it, yes, I could chuck a turbo on it. So another part of that was injection or carburation for the finished version. I think for the first startup, I'm going to have a carburetor on it. So I have an adapter here, which I should be able to put a big carburetor on it. And that carb will be off another bike. It has already been tuned and set up and ready to go. So it's just one less variable for the first startup that I have to worry about. And as far as injection, it will be injected because they have a whole bunch of cool ideas with the building a super trick airbox and like a custom fuel tank and stuff where, yeah, all about flow and, you know, very Moto3 inspired. Now another question was about the ECU and the ignition. So first startup, we'll be using the standard CDI. Again, it's one less variable to worry about. Now, I did have one subscriber who said he was keen to send me an Ignitec fuel injection system, which I imagine does ignition as well. So potentially using that'd be cool. And the last part of this question is there any sort of future versions of the engine planned? So, in my head, this engine is the learn how to build an engine. I don't think this is the final version. I think I'm going to have a few different goes at it. I'm sure there are parts of this that are going to break. I'm almost certain actually there are parts of this that are going to break. That could be the handmade crankshaft. It could be the cylinder head. It could be the barrel. I'm sure there's going to be water leaks, oil leaks, compression leaks, and I'm not sure which ones are going to warrant making more parts, but yes, there's going to be future versions. And then the other engine I have in mind is a 150 triple that revs to like 23,000 RPM. So yeah, that's going to be insane, but I need to learn how to build an engine first before I tackle something that's got more cylinders, more problems. Now, question 4 was the casting process. So I have done quite a bit on the casting in earlier videos. Someone asked what is the alloy I've used for this. So it depends on where you're from. It's either called A356 or LM25. It is a highly heat treatable aluminium that is very strong, and I think most of the Britain is made from LM25. And where do you get it? So I think there's 2 companies I've dealt with so far in Auckland, and you can just buy a pallet load or how many kgs you want off them, and it's actually not that expensive. Now the next question is, how am I funding this project and what do I do for work? So I spend most of my spare money here in the workshop on motorbike parts, engineering tools and equipment, pretty much everything to progress this and hopefully a career in this sort of industry. Now YouTube does pay a little bit, but not nearly enough to live off, so that is why I still have a job as a motorcycle mechanic. So that is my trade, and I work for my parents' motorcycle business part-time at the moment because they are fully on board with this career that I want to do. So I pretty much earn the bare minimum that I need to pay for power, mortgage, the internet and stuff that I need, and then all my other spare time is dedicated to here in the workshop. Now the next question is, will this be a retail product? Maybe is the short answer. The long answer is I'm not sure that sort of aligns with the ethos of bucket racing. The whole idea of bucket racing is you sort of have a go at it yourself. You tinker with your engine, you know, you modify it, you make it your own. Obviously, there are people who don't do that, and that's fine. But I think if I did actually get 30 horsepower at the wheel out of this and it was reliable, I think it would be a disservice to the class for me to sell it to people, if that makes any sense. I'm all for helping people if they want to build a similar engine or they want to even just make a cylinder head. I'm always messaging people and talking to people, whether Auckland, Dunedin, Christchurch, Wellington. If they're working on building an FXR race engine, I share pretty much every piece of knowledge that I've got, that I've learned over the years about them. and things they want to do. Now, the same goes for casting and doing things from scratch. I'm an open book. If there's something you want to know, I'm happy to help out and help you learn, and that's kind of what I've been doing in my videos. I try to show every mistake I've made so that if someone wants to have a go at this themselves, they see, you know, they can learn from my mistakes and they should be able to do it quicker, and it costs them less time and hopefully be less dangerous. So yeah, I think if I had friends who wanted me to build an engine for them, I wouldn't want to do all of it. I think if they wanted to pay me to teach them to build an engine, I would accept money that way, but I don't think, and like if I did do a production run of these, I would probably outsource. Like Rapid Direct does vacuum casting, it does all the CNC machining. Like they could whip out one of these crankshafts for like 1/10 of the price that it would cost me to make it here in my shed. So yes, that's a maybe. The next question is, what is the difference between my engine and a stock engine? So apart from they are still a 150 4-stroke, that's the main similarity. The differences are, this is water cooled compared to an FXR 150. It has much larger valves which are titanium, like this, and yeah, so better coolant, lighter. Like every component I'm trying to make at least half. So like for example, my camshafts, by the time they're finished, they'll be half the weight of the FXR camshafts. The same with the crankshaft, like mine's going to be at least a kg and a bit. I think my cylinder head is half the weight of an FXR cylinder head. It obviously needs coolant and a radiator, which will add a bit of weight. But yeah, I'm trying to make this bike as light as humanly possible. So the next question is regarding torque specs. So most of the time with a given pitch and size of bolt, you can figure out just what the torque spec would be from a manual. So for example, camcat bolts on most engines, if they're M6, are either 10 or 11 Newton meters. And you know, for an M8 bolt, you know, it might be around 25 or 20 Newton meters. And so can normally figure out what they need to be based on other engines and just experience in general. So next question is where I got my inspiration and what guides my design. So I sort of touched on that already. The main things are like Formula 1, Moto3, MotoGP, all those sort of racing scenes where the pinnacle of performance is at, is where I take a lot of inspiration from them, especially the Honda Grand Prix bikes from, I think it was the 60s, like the RC116, which is a 50cc twin that produces like 18 horsepower or something ridiculous out of a 50cc 4-stroke that revs to like 22,000 RPM. So yeah, that is a big inspiration for what I want to do with this and future engines. So the next question is, any regrets or things I would do differently? Now, the main one is I really wish I did some flow bench work on the cylinder head before I cast it. So if I had my 3D print, and if I made the ports oversized from what they needed to be, and then just blended and filled them with plasticine and sort of sculpted the ports to the most ideal shape that the flow bench says they flow the most, I think that would have been the most intelligent way, rather than getting a whole bunch of averages across different race engines and using maths and using a calculated guess essentially is what I've done with the cylinder head. So if you want to check out and see what I've been up to recently, there is a previous video up here, and there's probably a subscribe button up there. And on that note, this has been Logan from the Motorcycle Forge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.